focus on whether you write spoken word and you're a spoken word performer, or you're a formalist poet, and there really doesn't have to be that much of a division between the two. It's, to me, you know, it all does sort of both things.
And that's exactly actually like what the point and the sort of like purpose in the guided independent study was that like there, you know, if you're taking a poetry class that has like a formal approach, or if you're coming at pretty much any like set format for how you're going to talk about poetry, then that kind of immediately cuts out other schools of thought or other ways of doing poetry, whether it's reading it or writing it or performing it or just taking it in. And the idea with that independent study was that I was doing all of those different aspects of it, and I wanted to combine them into one thing, because for me they are combined naturally. It's not a stretch, it's not like something I need to, in fact it's a stretch to go in the opposite direction, to divide them as if they're different parts. And I have a strong interest in music and like creating sound in that way also, and those also in some ways are like just innately one, and so the guided independent study was like about that, about combining all of those things and creating what I was already creating before, but was not necessarily allowed to in individual classes that were not focused on sound outside of literature.
Okay. Now, I know that you lived in on-campus housing at Burlington College, which Burlington College currently has 4 houses, one of which they're still trying to dissect and reconstruct for the purposes of living, which was, I guess, acquired last semester. Does that sound about right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you're on the Student Government Association, so I kind of thought you'd...
I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, they don't let us know about that.
We're not in the buying and selling.
Okay, not yet anyway.
We were out of the loop.
All right. You know, accidents happen.
Right.
But I know that you were in the house I was in last year, and we'll skip over a lot of that. But while you were there, I know that you were doing a lot of sound mixing and recording and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And now I might as well say this now as well as, you know, off camera, that I've been saying it for a couple of years now, is that you are amazing at what you do with sound and music and whatnot, and painting.
Thank you.
Most people, and this is what I tend to find, is most people have one thing that they're good at or a couple of things they're good at. I cannot say one way or another which one you're better at, because to me they all look equally great.
They all blend together. Mary's got a lot going on. It's inspiring to see.
It's a seamless transition, pretty much. We don't want to make you cry, but it's true.
Thank you. I don't know what else to say to that. Gracias.
You're welcome.
It's all like, it's not separate to me.
It's all together.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just like I don't think that I could say which media or art form or even area, even genre, or like anywhere in there that I could say that I feel more passionately about this one than that one. Music, I haven't had the same outlet for music as I do with the others, like academically, but which is, I think, a part of why I started incorporating sound and music into my like poetry, so that it became part of my academic work. But and whereas painting and poetry and other forms of creative writing have had a place in like all of the classes that were, not all of them, but most of the classes that I've taken, certainly in every semester that I've been there. And I just have a really like strong passion for all of them. So
It's understandable. doing what you like. Why not? So I don't want to be the pusher along of said things because I'd rather be, with.
Well, I think you're the ringmaster, right?
Yeah. Don't ever put me in that position, sir.
Well, you don't have the whip, but you got the suit.
Yeah. Missing a top hat too, but
Flaming hoops.
I have a feeling that's going to be my Christmas gift from the producer. The whip.
I thought you meant the top hat.
No. No, I wouldn't be that lucky. Anyway, so I'm feeling that we should get on to the poetry aspect of this, just to keep things moving here. I
Cool beans.
hate to do it, but
Hey, cool Modi, yeah.
maybe more
Yeah, I
questions
don't
would
think-
come out of this.
I don't think you have to apologize to poets for having them read poetry.
Yeah.
Well, I apologize for cutting the conversation short for that, but
Hey, no worries.
You're forgiven.
I found out get it later. But Mac, you want to start with, I guess, or elbow?
Or elbow, sure. This is actually, I just wrote this yesterday.
Uh-oh. Should we
Splendid.
preview it, or?
No,
It's splendid. I've previewed.
I think I'm ready to go. It might change some, but
Okay, well, when it does, you'll have to come back and read that version.
there you go. I'd settle even for time out of mind, but it is some sad drivel, some pop song without genitals or mind. The man in the second-hand velveteen smoking jacket has real blood on his fingertips, but none, metaphorically speaking, on his hands. He's taken the corner stool for the larger half of forever, repeating a litany since last Tuesday, and due to his circular non-conversance, mercy has been transformed into just some word, like ubiquitous or elbow. I think of my elbows perhaps a little too often, probably because someday I'd like to learn to live without leaning on them. Far too long ago, rooms like this stopped intrinsically appealing, and yet the effect of the light through the bottles on the mirror behind them, the way that effect mirrors a certain state of mind, is difficult to walk away from. Like moth to these smoke and mirrors, burning without so much as flame, but burning, I dream a bow-legged boy, a life before this, a bow-legged boy who stood with me years ago, smiling beauty, cliff-dancing fool, and I dream of him a world away, unreachable. I enter dreams, and there I am, the me I was then, and anything is possible. Revolutions are born from the foreheads of garrulous eggheads sleeping in doorways. Love blossoms in seamy haze without so much as personification. Then is so long ago, but I dream in circles for them then to seem future. Said it before, saying again, writing letters I don't send. Our daughters will walk in the air a mile over the sea, and they will smile without reserve. And the people on the shorelines below them will dance and sing, look at the moon, look at the moon. And our daughters will smile, but they will know they are not the moon. They'll have devised a geometry in which the moon is also not the moon, and it will please them. Our sons will long outburn the fires that are coming, and when they've eaten, they'll rest. Mercy will still be a strange quality, but also just a word, like ubiquitous. All right, I got a couple more things somewhere down in here.
Okay, and this is Death to the Hipsters is what you had next.
Yeah, Death to the Hipsters for Tyler Broussard. I am nostalgic for this apocalyptic orgasm pursued by the ancients. They must have had it somewhere in the western sky, and we must be its tribe's descendants. I am waiting in line for my newer, better 99-cent burrito, and I can't hear over the din of the hipster children wearing crowns like bad hairdos. The market crashes all around us, and they shrug their shoulders, hawking ignorance as nonchalance. When they become unable to drag their hooded sweatshirt sleeves through decorative soy sauce, they will be instantly transformed into perfectly unquestioning soldiers. In the wilds, the present plays as the past for us. The wicked indulgence of any city scars the sky with its pyres, and we are praying godlessly for a great rain. The music that comes to us secondhand is electrified. It confuses the children and stretches their bodies into listless, deflated blue balloons at the roots of the trees of knowledge and life, respectively. To re-inherit the wind, we must set our best-fed architects to design a newer, better criminality. Our thievery can wrest the sky from the hands of the God-fearing and the sane. And that is that one.
And then you have 7 Days of the Cuckold.
7 Days of the Cuckold, yes.
And do you want to explain that title before you go, or
No.
or would you rather wait till after?
Yeah.
Never.
Well,
Sorry.
the word cuckold itself is an antiquated word. It's a Elizabethan word that basically refers to a man who's been cheated on. And in Elizabethan cosmology that was later adopted by the French playwright Molière, cuckolds grew horns from the center of their foreheads, which kind of figures into the thing. So
Okay, so
seven.
we're gonna hear a horny poem. Huh?
Yeah, right. 7 Days of the Cuckold. The breakfast table is strewn with political apparatus. The confusion of night hangs in the corners of eyes, and soon too much of the day has gone by to achieve positive result. My books are scattered around town, and my former landlord has stolen my furniture. I live in the healthiest city in an unhealthy country. The newspaper tells me our city is healthy because our citizenry is richer, younger, and smarter. I've begun to age very rapidly. I cough, shake from want, forget things, and fall asleep at inconvenient points during the day. The local newspaper is but one apparition of betrayal. No one is singing to me these days. My masters find new pupils, my children out of town for the holiday. Part of the problem is the unfortunate horn which has sprouted from the middle of my forehead. It's so antiquated that the citizenry is unsure what to make of it. Some of the kids at the park think I'm a unicorn, but their parents understand the condition well enough to warn them away. One of the taverns in town nominates me as their sentimental favorite. I provide the target for their ring toss and slog down what I can when the sales are high. A friend poses me questions of honorable death. I quickly polish my horn and inform him that it is only through the embrace of despair that we will be allowed to become mythic creatures again. Where loneliness was a country whose language I didn't know, I projected a variable calculation of time and solved for myself in the X of now. Mythology aside, no one grows horns without preparations. When breakfast is finished, we compliment the councilman in the corner booth on his choice of soda. He is wealthy, healthy, young, the perfectly marketable variety of vapid man who will never, ever grow a horn. The Adonis preacher of Jeremiad epitaphs devises an excellent sign for my neck, and soon I am among the favorite buskers with the more esoteric night walkers. Still, I am nothing to the psychotic lech who dispenses haiku from the lovely hole in his throat. The proper merchants invite he and his consort to the marketplace. They invite him to roasts, make him fat with jams. Nor in truth can I compete with the human hymnal who dispenses cocktails part-time. The Holiday Post invites me to a fairly respected conference in the land of shade, and who knows, that may be the most logical thing. Thank you.
I don't know about you, but if I ever perform something, I hate to not hear that.
Well, you know, the applause is as large as it is in most poetry readings. I think.
Now we have Mary VITTUM reading poetry. So your first one is I Am That I Am, as I understand it.
I am that I am. I am that I am and even am not. This patchwork girl brain, more tired than not. Too woozy with worry and wondering what. Too tired to see, too far out of me. pretending to know that I know that I know, and most of the time I'm faking as much for me as I am